Hi, everybody. This is Ian from Easy Genie, and today I'm going to give you a quick overview of Scotland's people. And I found this to be one of the best resources online for getting information about your Scottish ancestors. And there's a very good reason for it. This is actually a service of the Scottish government. It's maintained by National Records of Scotland, Department of the Scottish Government. So they really do have access to stuff that Ancestry, Family Search, and all the paid services will not have access to. So I really suggest you look into it. However, in this overview, I'm going to explain a couple of the things you need to know about Scotland's people when you're using it, and some other bits and pieces. So first of all, when you come to Scotland's people, many folks will just start right here with the search engine. For instance, if I'm searching for my last name, and I just put in Lamont and search, we'll see what comes up. And there should be quite a bit. And so you can see that this is the results for people. So they have statutory registers. These are the state-determined birth certificates and death certificates, which date from the 1800s. Church registers. So if you're looking for an ancestor who lived before, say, 1850 or so, this might come in handy. They have other things like valuation rolls, census returns. So this is really a big source of information. If you go to other parts of the website, you'll find things like maps and detailed drawings. Some of them are free to look at. You may need to register to look at them, but you won't be charged any money. So for instance, this is the maps and plans, and I searched for Aberdeen, and this is what comes up. So for instance, plan of the city of Aberdeen, the old town in the adjacent country, 1773. So that if I had ancestors who lived near Aberdeen, that might be pretty interesting, and I can just view it to take a look. And it will come up, and here is the map. One thing I do recommend doing when you do find something that is relevant to your genealogy research is you download a copy of it, or you can save a copy of it as well, so you can have it for your own records. One thing you do need to know, however, is that sometimes when you're looking for a record, so let's say that I'm looking for old parish registers. So these are Protestant records of births for the last name Lamont. If I click View nearly 3,000 records, I'll come up to this page. So it starts showing these records, some of them dating from a long time ago. For instance, this one is from 1781 in Glasgow. And if I want to view this particular image, I have to use credits. And you'll see in the top right corner here, I have Ian Lamont credits 26. I can buy more if I want to by going to my account and getting some more. And the credits, they're not exactly cheap, but I think considering this is a service that the Scottish government is providing to people, so a fee is fair to look at some of them because it takes money to gather them and to scan them. So just keep that in mind. I mean, if you load up, let's say that I bought 100 credits, and each image is usually 5 or 6 credits, I'm going to run through them. So I'm very careful with what I download from Scotland's people. I really want to make sure it's the right person. For that reason, I always recommend using the advanced features. So here I just searched for Lamont. So let's say that I want to be very careful and get better information, so I'll increase the chances of getting the right record. I might be very specific about what I'm looking for. So James Lamont between 1810 and 1820. The other thing that I always recommend is where your ancestor lived, if possible. Sometimes it's not possible because you just know, all right, they came from Scotland, but you're not sure where. But if you can figure out where they came from, so for instance, I have a lot of ancestors in Aberdeenshire, and it looks like it's not going to show up. Well, all right, so let's say Arbador, and click Update Results. So you might need to do a little research to determine where they came from. Another thing to know is that the setup for the records, they have Church of Scotland, Roman Catholic Church, and other churches. So Church of Scotland or Old Parish Registers, this is the Protestant Church of Scotland. They have the most records. Roman Catholic, not so much. I mean, Roman Catholics were persecuted in Scotland for a long time, so it was really almost like a secret religion for many, many years. Other churches, this is like the Free Church that arose in the 1840s, and you sometimes can find records there as well. So be sure to search on all three of these if you're not sure what religion they were, but if you do know what religion they were, you can kind of narrow it down. The other thing you want to do is just make sure that you get the right county. So Aberdeen, This also used to be known as Aberdeenshire. So sometimes when you're searching for something, it may not. Yeah. So for instance, I have two records from Aberdeenshire. One is in Ballater, and actually both of them are in Ballater. So I already paid for one of these, view image paid. This one though, if I wanted to check it out, I'd have to pay more credits to get that. So that's kind of a basic idea of how it works. Actually, let's just take a look at some of the records that you can get. So this is something that I downloaded for, this looks like a death record that I downloaded, a statutory death record from 1892. And you can see it's a pretty good reproduction of that. So I save that. Here's another one. This is a census return from 1841. For a certain area. I can see this as Crathie and Braemar. And just like anywhere else where you're looking at old census returns, sometimes the handwriting is a little hard to read. One thing I would like to say is oftentimes the index will have some basic information, but then when you actually look at the record itself, you'll find many more pieces of information. So for instance, right here, I can see someone's address. Looks like 79 Glavis Road or something in Forfar. So do take a look at the detailed information that comes up on the record itself, because that may not appear in the index. For more information on how to get the most out of genealogy, if you go to easygenie.org, I have a blog every week or so. I update it with new entries. And also, EasyGenie is the source of our acid-free genealogy charts, as well as our unique fillable PDFs, genealogy PDFs, which you can type into at home and will be safe and private and won't be online for anyone to look at if you want to keep the information to yourself. This is Ian from EasyGenie. Thank you so much for watching.